Makwe, thanks very much indeed for coming in.
Pleasure.
Local stocks and banks not doing too well today. I wonder, is this rand-related or is there something else behind this local stock performance?
It's more rand-related. Bear in mind that the minute you get the rand weakening, that gets to be negative for your banks, and also what you can call maybe South African-focused companies, which were mainly our retailers, your likes of Mr. Price, Truworths, Woolworths, they also struggled. So that was very negative for the market. But yes, it's more of a rand play. As we said, that a weakening rand is not good for them. And normally, when you get a good job number from the U.S., coupled with like less hawkish Federal Reserve comments, that should be very positive for equities. But we saw that fading away, and unfortunately, there was not serious activity when it comes to the Asian markets, given the fact that there is this lunar year and most of the Asian markets were closed.
And it was across the board. I mean, a particular share I'd like to focus on is MTN. They're still in the slump, couldn't manage to get out, despite the fact that they tell us in a trading statement they expect profits to rise 20%.
And I think it was a bit of good news in the sense that we know all the who's when it comes to MTN, and I think investors were more desperate for any good news coming out of MTN. But my opinion, I think it was because that trading statement was very thin, We still have to get more. How are they going to navigate when it comes to the whole thing of Nigeria, where we know they make their biggest chunk of money? We know that they even denied all this, even the latest allegations, but they ended up paying a fine of just under R1 billion. That tells you that something has happened that side, and also there is this dark cloud hanging over them when it comes to the Auditor General that side as well. So we still need to get those kind of details, but I guess markets didn't have the patience to wait for the full results, and unfortunately, as I said, the trading statement was very thin when it comes to details like that. Yes, good news that at least the earnings will be more than 20% high.
The other share that just caught my eye, AngloGold Ashanti, but I mean, reading that gold price going down as a result of that stronger dollar, you would understand why a big mining firm like this loses out on the share price.
By all means. And also, we need to know that all these results is what happened in the past. Yeah. What's more interesting is going forward. And yes, going forward, and AngloGold, they made more money out of once-off issues. It's not a question of the guys managed to generate more and or managed to increase the sales. And I think that disappointed the market to some extent that yes, even if the gold price is going forward, one will like to hear stuff like even our production will increase, meaning we'll sell more at higher gold prices. That should be positive for the stock. But also, as you said earlier, I think it was also more of a gold play. And you check other international gold miners, they're also negative for the day.
And now the other share I want to talk about, and hopefully we have a bit of a graphic to tell us how the share performed, Clover. So here you have a company receiving a buyout. The company in question here, Milco International, wants to pay 25 Rand a share. Clover closing at 20 Rand a share on Friday. That's an impressive offer, and we can see by that graphic what happened as soon as that news was announced. Clover, 15% higher today. What's your take on this proposed deal?
Very positive, and I think when they issued the cautionary, it's almost 70% premium from when they issued the cautionary. I think it was almost at 15. And you see, these guys, they've been in the industry, and I think they're good synergies in the sense that they've operated in Turkey, they know how the sub-Saharan market operates, and they're more or less in the kind of business. I think they own something when it comes to Coca-Cola as well, so we expect them to improve the efficiency of the whole thing, and we know that the Clover, as much as they might be selling things, distribution is a very crucial part. Petrol, as a result, plays a very crucial element. We need someone who can be able to make sure that things are running smoothly. And we also like the fact that you've got management who will be owning just over 6% of the company. Thus, people are very critical because as they are buying into that company is a well-run company. So it's very important that management will continue to be involved and become shareholders.
You look at the Rand, Makwe. So, I got out of the office on Friday, just very impressed. We were sitting around 13.23 or so when I left. 13.40, hovering around that amount. Now, we've got two big events this week. First of all, internationally, Donald Trump, the president of the U.S., makes that State of the Union address. We've got our very own State of the Nation address on Thursday. Both these events can influence our local currency.
By all means, but also one has to factor in that the U.S. Treasury yield has been going up, and then hence that have managed to help the dollar to strengthen. So I think the rand, the weakness is more of the dollar strength, and based on the numbers that we saw coming out of the U.S. on Friday.
Okay, so just a quick remark. Where do you see the rand playing this week?
I think it will continue to play in the range between 340 and 350, 1320 and 1350.
Makwe Maselela, thanks very much indeed for coming in this evening.